Hello everyone, this is Sovereign here today for Newartist Spotlight. We have a new format for you called Release Spotlight. We are going to introduce new releases from our friends to you. The main goal of this format is giving your future favorite artists a place where they can talk about their releases. This is the first episode, so I'm sure there's plenty of room for improvement still. But without further ado, let's jump right in. We have a really cool lineup for the first show. Make sure to check out the featured artists and spread the word of this new format, because after all, we are here to give a little bit of spotlight to undiscovered artists. Our first guest in today's show is Gabi Newman, a master of electronic music from Spain. It's really hard to sit still while listening to your music. How do you manage to mix it?
Hi, this is Gabi Newman from Barcelona. I've been a DJ and producer for about 30 years now. I've always been involved in the electronic scene here in my country in multiple projects, radios and record companies. I love house music. I do all kinds of music, but you can tell house is my thing. I think I spend more time mixing than composing and producing the sound.
Yeah, you can really tell you spend a lot of time mixing. The new release is really an EP with so many remixes of the original. Do you find you end up preferring a remix or the original?
Remixes help the release to be here for many audience. It's something we do a lot in the DJ world. It's amazing here what other producers can do with your music. For me, all tracks from the release are good.
Speaking of different audiences, as the summer approaches and lockdowns ease, are you hoping to hear your music in some clubs this year?
Yep, summer is here and clubs are open again. We do the promotion for this now, including myself. I started the season in Ukraine next Jan with the first gig in about 2 years. Thanks God.
I do hope your song gets played in a lot of clubs, so let's just dive right in. Here is new song Voce by Gabi Newman. Copperstone, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having us on here. So excited to be here.
So right now where I am, it's wet and windy outside. So your new single Pontoon Ride brightens the day, and you've picked the perfect venue to display that.
Yeah.
So what was the vibe in the song you were looking for?
So this song actually came together with last November, right around Thanksgiving, here stateside. So, we were actually, believe it or not, spending it up on the lake here. It just has a change of scenery, which is always a nice thing, especially given the circumstances over the past 16 months, right? So with that, we were looking and just kind of longing for the warmer days, even though we hadn't really started the cold weather here. So we wanted to start to put together something that would help us, get through those cold winter blues and give us something to look forward to as the sun's shining. So it perfect timing, as you can see here in the background.
Absolutely. I read that you had to introduce a new mixing partner, our beloved Charles Connolly, at the last minute. How did that work out for you?
So we, on our debut EP in subsequent material, we worked through a longtime friend and a former bandmate of mine. I've played in a few bands with them, but just due to work constraints and various other obligations, he wasn't able to kind of fit in, helping us finish this song here in line with our release date. So, we were very fortunate that, I remembered the mixed portal through New Artist Spotlight, which was a fantastic tool, and just reached out to Charles, who did great work. And, I think through it all, it created a fresh opportunity for us to work with somebody new, and definitely somebody who we'll continue to work with, as well as the other New Artist Spotlight members through Mixed. So we couldn't have been more excited about how it turned out. And Charles did a fantastic job.
That's good to hear. So I kind of lose track of all the projects that are going on here in New Artist Spotlight, but glad to hear you found some help through Mixed there. So did it by any means create problems or provide you with fresh opportunities going through Mixed?
So, no, I think it provided a fresh opportunity with just to work with somebody new. And, given the distance here to the wonderful world of technology, like we're talking through here now, presents, such wonderful opportunities for musicians to connect and network and, grow off one another, right? Because that's what we're all here to do is, take influences from different avenues and continue to learn, right? And perfect our craft. So I think it was initially, the challenge of trying to find somebody new was certainly there, but we were very fortunate that it turned out to be a nice, refreshing opportunity here.
Very cool. So before we tune into your new song here on the show, one final question. Last year you released your debut album, Vinyl. Do you have plans for another one which might include Ponton Ride and Unsaid?
That's funny you asked that. Being a virtual collaboration, as we dub ourselves, just because the band members are spread out through different states. We were talking about this the other night in one of our band meetings, just, what we want to do with some of the next steps. And it's exactly right, as we're looking at Unsaid and Pontoon Ride with the other releases that we have planned through the year to put together another probably EP. And the main driving focus is, just to kind of plug Unsaid a little bit here, is, the previous release before Pontoon Ride is a song about addiction, and something we've partnered with a charity called Shatterproof on, and raising awareness of fighting the disease of addiction, which affects millions of people worldwide. So, we want to continue to highlight that. We want to continue to push and promote that song. As everything it earns and all the purchases and everything from it get donated to help in that fight. So, anything we can do, packaging, remastering, putting it as part of an EP to continue having a fresh sound or fresh takes on or anything like that, we're definitely going to continue to do.
Absolutely. And it's for a good cause. So, thanks for being on the show. Let's have a listen to your new song. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day at the lake.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Our bags are packed and the cooler's stocked full. We'll ride the waves wherever they'll go. We'll take it slow to get there fast. One thing's for sure, we ain't never ever looking back. 'Cause one day's too far away when I'm all alone. And this one's better for us to be. One day's too far away when I'm all alone. And this one's better for us to be.
Okay, now a warm, nice welcome to Swedish musician and producer Lukas Ki. Hello there.
Hello.
How are you
Thank you
doing?
for having me. I'm great. How are you?
Actually doing pretty good. This is the first episode of NAS Release Spotlight. Happy to have you here. Happy you joined in. So let's just jump right in. Stones is the latest single from your debut album, The Summit. This is due in 2 weeks?
Yeah, on June 3rd.
Nice. Which is more exciting, getting the single out or preparing for the album launch?
I think I have to say the album launch. Like the first, I released another single a month ago, And then I was very excited because it was like the first song I released in like a year. But for this one, I kind of just wanted to get it out there and move on to the album, you know.
Yeah, definitely can relate to that. I read that you like to write songs about everyday items like dead leaves and stones. What made you decide to use these as inspiration for your music?
That's probably just like a coincidence. It isn't something I've done, like I've decided on really. I think for stones, it's kind of like a metaphor, I guess, for, you know, having a weight on your shoulders or something on your chest that you just want to get rid of and move on. And Dead Leaves is the lyrics on that song are kind of just gibberish. It has some meaning, but I don't really remember what it is anymore.
Well, as long as you're having fun making them.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I love the artwork for Stones and Let You Down. So what's the story behind this?
I found a guy on Fiverr who had like a really unique style, which I really liked. So I just contacted him, and he made artwork. And big shout out to him. He's Brucola on Fiverr and Instagram.
Yeah, check out Brucola on Fiverr.
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually everything I have on questions for you. Thanks for participating in the first show, and
Thank you.
just let's go ahead and showcase your song then.
Yeah.
Feeling empty is a sign of the times, even if we live life to the fullest. It's hard to be of any substance at all when you're a leaking faucet. We've been carrying this stuff for so long. How much is this shit weighing? We gotta figure it out somehow. Find a place to unload. Stones weighing me down. My grip is so tight, I think my feelings bite. Ooh, when did I sink into the ground? Where did my insides go? Nothing.
Hi there, we are talking to Love Crumbs here, and after such a strong debut with Cavalcades, your new single Ellipsis has a different feel about it, although with those unmistakable vocals. Hello and welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on the show. I suppose I am just like one member of the band Love Crumbs. I'll say that, you know, certainly not me hitting those notes. You know, we have a female vocalist. You know, no one wants me singing those notes. I'll tell you that right now. You know, so yeah, I'm a songwriter of the band Love Crumbs. Kind of we oscillate between kind of like a more roots sound and kind of like a more like kind of folk rocker or indie sound, and so that's, you know, kind of, it's been confusing for a lot of people because we only have 2 songs out right now. You know, and I think, you know, that's like an interesting, I think, thing in its own right to talk about, you know, music marketing, like where, you know, if you're pitching to blogs, you're pitching to playlists or whatever, you know, the last people who liked you were kind of roots and folk. And now you have to pitch to indie folks, you know. You know.
So, as you already said, your single Ellipsis sounds different than the rest. What did it cause that you choose to change the sound there?
Yeah, I mean, I think like, so there are some folks, you know, who think that we live kind of in a genre agnostic time. You know what I mean? Like where genre isn't super important. Like I think like, if you go back in music history, you know, and certainly still today, there are like bands that, or groups or artists who only do kind of one style of music. But I don't know, like when we grew up with the internet. And so we were exposed to just a lot of different styles of music. So I think it's not unusual for a band to, you know, have many different styles of music on one album or throughout their careers. And so I think, you know, it makes it easier from a marketing perspective to do one thing. But, you know, if you just want to be true to like a sound or a song that you're trying to write or produce, you know what I mean? Then it's like, well, just make the song you're trying to make and, you know, let the chips fall where they may. And don't worry so much about what genre it's in until you're trying to pitch it, you know?
Yeah. It's very important to have the feeling of the song there. Yeah.
Sure.
For a band that is named after a famous American poem, how important are the lyrics and what is the story behind those songs? As you said, you're the songwriter.
Sure. Yeah, I'm the songwriter. We have another songwriter in the group who's a good songwriter as well. I'd say for me historically, like lyrics have been about like half as important as the sound, which I think it very much, you know, differs for music like fans. I think for some people it's like they don't care at all. You know what I mean? About what the words are, you know. I think about songs like, you know, Moves Like Jagger or something like that are like huge hit songs that like, you know, if you looked at the lyrics, they look like they're written by like a third grader or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and, you know, and then on the other end of the spectrum, you have like, you know, Dylan songs or something like that. And so it's, you know, so there's a market for both, you know, and, you know, we're somewhere like right smack dab in the middle. We're doing our best. We're neither, you know, probably the worst or best lyricists, you know, that are out there. I try to make like meaningful lyrics. They're important to me. Yeah. I don't expect they're important to everyone. I think hooks are also important. You know what I mean? Like writing a hook and like writing like a pleasing, something that's pleasing to the ear. I think both in the music I listen to and like, you know, I think like what other people like, although I don't know if I really cracked that code, you know what I mean?
Well, for me, you're doing a good job that way.
Oh, thanks, man.
So final thing from me, we waited far too long for your second single. So what are your plans going forward?
God, man, you know, that's a good point. I mean, I know that like, you know, the overall strategy is like content, you know, like new single every month, man, you got to keep up, you know, and like, you know, I think like with us, it's like really just been about like, we're trying to put out like high quality content and like, it's just expensive to do that. You know what I mean? And so I think like before we put out a song, we have like at least like a month, but usually more than a month of like promo efforts, like going into like getting, you know, blogs to write about us and like, you know, kind of radio stations to play us and, you know, playlists to feature us and things like that. So there's a lot of like kind of back end. So I think, but honestly, it's just like mostly cost. You know, we've had like some like very small label interest, but like honestly, until we have like a bigger budget to you know, we have lots of songs we'd like to make and produce out, you know, get out there into the world. But like, I think if we could do 3-4 songs a year, like really, that's like realistically like what we're looking at is for them to be well reviewed, you know, to like not lose momentum and to build our like kind of live that get people out to shows, you know what I mean, and kind of become like a regional act based on like the kind of hype that we're building from our songs. So I think the songs and the streaming are kind of one aspect of that, you know, and kind of the reviews and the blogs and are like another aspect of that. And so I don't really know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I'm just like doing my best. And like, you know, I think it would be great if we had the kind of resources to put out more content, but I think it's a good question. And people are like, when are you recording an album? I'm like, I don't know. You know, you want to fund it? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. You know anybody with a lot of money who wants to, waste money on that?
Well, yeah. Hopefully we at Newartist Spotlight can help you.
Yeah. Give us that boost, baby.
Yeah.
That boost.
Working on the boost. Well, yeah, it was fun having you on the show, and
totally, man.
Happy. I hope all your dreams will come true with that.
Oh, likewise. Yeah, for everybody in this community. Yeah, it's a great community of folks who are really supportive. So glad to be here, and I really appreciate you having me on.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, cool. All right, have a great one.
And it was all she could do.
Welcome, Ed, and congratulations on the new single.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
Time is full of energy and has so many layers to it.
I wanted to show how fast time goes by. That's why the beat of the song is so fast. And in regards to the layers of it, I tend to record a million things and then take away. Sometimes it takes a long time. I wanted the energy of the song to mimic how fast time actually goes by. You don't realize it till you get older, unfortunately. And in regards to layering, I tend to layer like crazy, so I put not too much on this song actually, but like on what Just Give Me a Call, I put a million guitars and then I slowly take them away until everything fits.
How long did it take to record and produce this song?
How long did this song take, huh? Okay. Well, the bed tracks were actually done in 1994, just the drums, bass, guitar, and the main vocal. And they were done on Studer 24-track, 2-inch tape, all the old style analog stuff. What I did about 5 years ago is I converted a whole bunch of recordings that I had done over, including Just Give Me a Call. And I decided I wanted to get these things done right, so I just put them in my home studio, invited a few people to add some things to it. Rob Downton did all the keyboards on both tunes, and he's amazing. Basically what I did was I started, except for the bed tracks, started from scratch. So and they were all over at the time, I don't know, in the 90s for some reason. We did everything like 6 minutes long, which nobody wants to hear anything for 6 minutes anymore.
Tom Duggan, one of the team, had the luck to see Rick Wakeman in concert, and listening to the synths on this track, it reminded him of the great prog rock bands. Was this song trying to embrace a nostalgic feel?
I'm kind of old, so nostalgic feel comes natural, unfortunately. Basically what happened was I had the song. I wanted something just besides guitars in it. I wanted a keyboard. And originally I thought of something like the Who, Won't Get Fooled Again, that pulsating keyboard. And I had, asked the keyboard player to add some horns to it and to put a pulsating keyboard. He tried it and it just didn't sound good. So I said, you know what, on the middle 8, just do whatever you want. And he came up with that cool riff. And at the beginning I'm like, no, that doesn't fit. And then I listened to it again. I'm like, holy crap, that sounds great. And that's how that came about.
Sometimes you just need to listen to your song sometimes. So, listeners should check out your Instagram page at Corrado Music. You have had fun posting recent blog reviews and their comments.
Yeah, the Instagram posts, it's kind of like one of those things where, you send out your song and you're thinking, man, they're gonna love this, it's gonna be great, and you can get so much publicity and blah blah blah, and you end up getting these rejections back, and they were all really positive, but they were, this song doesn't fit our playlist. It doesn't fit, even though when you're sending it into a rock playlist or something. But anyway, so I got all these reviews and I'm like, what am I gonna do? And I just figured, some of them are funny and some of them most of them are positive. Why not just post them and say, here's my rejections, right? And that's how that came to be. And the funny thing is that most of the people that responded were musicians saying, I love this because I got tons of these as well, and I just kind of never used them.
How much time does it take to reach out to so many bloggers? And given the huge range of comments, would you recommend doing it to other NAS listeners?
About whether I would recommend other NAS users using that style or technique. I think you got to use what you've got. So, with me, I don't look like John Bon Jovi or Mr. Personality Man, where I can, schmooze everybody. So I got to kind of use what I've got. And with these responses that I got back, like I said, they were all positive. Use them the way they make you look good.
Okay, thanks for being on the show. Let's listen to your new song, Time, that came out on April 14th.
Hunts alone, like a vulture staring down at you. He circles a bit more time. You sleep another night.
So, this concludes our first episode of Release Spotlight. Hope you enjoyed the show. There will be more in the future. We are planning on doing this about once a week. So, I am happy if you enjoyed it. Spread the word and make sure to give some love to the featured artists. See you soon.